Welcome back to the BJJ Fanatics podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ford. My guest today is a cult icon in the jiu-jitsu community. He's a 4th degree black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, a no-gi world champion, a multiple-time Pan Am's champion. He's currently teaching at La Marinda Jiu-Jitsu in Lafayette, California, just outside of San Francisco, as well as the Ralph Gracie Academy in downtown San Francisco. You may have seen him on TV as he was featured on Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown. His move of the week on YouTube has been very popular for over a decade now. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me for our 30th interview together is my good buddy Kurt Osiander. How are you today, Kurt?
Good morning, everyone.
Kurt, I appreciate you waking up early for this, man. I do appreciate it. It's always good to have you on the show. And dude, it's been over 30 plus hours of shenanigans with us on the show over the years. So I appreciate you for all your time put in. And I'm looking forward to another one with you today, buddy. How's everything going?
Cool. I'm just down here at the academy, pre-everything, so it's empty. And I'm just sitting here with Lulu and drinking coffee and talking to you, man.
Nice, awesome. Well, I appreciate it, dude. Are you still doing tattoo work? Are you still drawing and working over at Seven Sons at all?
After I got sick and everything, it's been like a 2-year hiatus from like drawing and doing my music stuff, and I'm just now rolling now, so. Everything's starting to go back to normal, so I should hopefully be back to doing that stuff also. Nice. You know, it's just like I was laid out pretty good for a year with both the hips getting done, and then last year was just like building up to be able to teach well again, you know. And so I was moving around pretty good doing showing techniques and stuff like that. And the stuff that I can't do anymore, you know, I just have to explain it and then have, one of the other guys do it. But it's I can do pretty much everything. But then I started rolling again in December, and then I rolled all this month. And so it's slowly building up, like they say, it's like usually twice the amount that you're laid off to come back. So I'm not in any big hurry.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad that things are back to normal. Last time we talked on the show, you were saying that you were back to rolling again with select students, and I'm happy to hear that's still the case. I actually just got a new tattoo, man. I was out for a couple weeks just to let it heal. How long do you typically take time off between tattoos?
Myself?
Yeah, probably nothing, right?
like 2-3 days.
Oh, okay. So you at least do something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then I like Neosporin the shit out of it and put on a rash guard. And depending where it is, like, if it's on my arm, then primarily I'll not pass, because you use your arms a lot. And then if it's on my legs, I don't do guard, so if it's an upper body tattoo, and it's on the front, or whatever, then I usually do a lot of guard work and don't use my arm, stuff like that.
Nice. Gives you lots of motivation for your retention, to keep your guard retention intact.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I know that like the first 3 days are when it's most prone to infections. So I know a lot of people will take the 3 days, and then once it's scabbing up, I don't know. I'm paranoid. Whenever I get one, I take more time off than recommended, even just because I'm paranoid of screwing it up. You know what I mean?
So like right when I get tattooed, I usually the guy, whoever it is, Luke or George or, whoever, Joey or whoever tattoos me, they go home and take a really hot shower, a really, really hot shower on the tattooed area. Right. And then, just put a nice light coat of Neosporin on it. And then I just leave it open as much as possible, because that's what heals everything, just like cuts or when you get a rug burn or whatever, the more you leave it open, the faster it heals.
Yeah, that's a weird thing about tattoo recovery is like you hear a lot of different people, even artists, have different opinions. Like I've been told explicitly to not put hot water on it, whereas you've been told to put hot water. I've been told. Yeah. Yeah, I've also been told like to not wrap it in plastic, and then I've also been told by other artists, dude, definitely wrap it in plastic for the first few days.
Well, that's just on the way home, And then when I get home, I take the extremely hot shower and everything like that right on the tattoo and everything. And all my friends they say it helps to helps the healing process, and then helps it all, calm down and everything, and also to stick the ink in.
Yeah. No, yeah, the wrapping thing always kind of freaks me out because like I recently had it wasn't like a major staph infection, but I had a little bit of a staffy thing on my knee because I scraped my knee skateboarding and then put a Band-Aid on it, and the sweat from the Band-Aid from underneath the sticky part caused a little staffy bump kind of thing.
It's always good to be worried about staph.
Yeah, but imagine like staph on a tattoo, like that would be awful.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it probably destroys the whole thing, huh?
Well, no, I mean it's affected and everything, and like where it does get infected and everything, sometimes you'll have to reshoot the color after it heals,
Which is twice the work now. Yeah, for sure. Plus plus you pay more. That's not free. Yeah.
Nothing's free.
Yeah. Kurt, do you have any real estate left on your body for more tattoos, or are you pretty much covered everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got some spots.
Yeah. What do you want to add?
I want to do something on the back of my thighs, the front of my shins, my calves, and the tops of my feet.
The tops of your feet?
Yeah, I want a neck tattoo.
You want to get a neck tattoo? Okay, cool. Do you know what you want to get?
Yeah, I know what I want to do. I do.
What is it?
Like, I want to get my eagle. You know the eagle?
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
My eagle emblem. I want to get that like right here on the front of my throat.
On your throat. That'll be cool.
That's pretty fucking hard, man.
Yeah.
You leave all society behind.
You've pretty much already done that a long time ago, though, dude. I think.
But I can fool the people. I can put my hair up and I can fool the people, and they go, "Oh no, he's normal."
I would bet my house and even my family that Kurt Osiander will never ever put on a suit and work a corporate job in his life. I
will never.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that you need to worry about any of that.
I'll put on a badass suit, but I will never work in an office.
Yeah, that just wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. I think you'd be, of all people that I know, I think you'd be safest to get a throat tattoo and be all right. Yeah.
I got all my friends did it, and like other people are like, if your friends did it, if they jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like depends how deep the water is. Yeah.
I mean, how high is the bridge? It's like, fuck yeah, I'll jump off of it. I used to jump off of everything.
That's awesome. What do you think is the most painful spot you've gotten inked at? Because I've heard like I got on my forearm. It goes all the way down to my wrist, and people used to say the wrist is real bad, but I didn't think it was bad at all. What was the most painful spot?
I think the wrist is really bad.
You think so? Really?
The wrist or the ditch. Right on the in the inside of your arm.
Yeah, the bicep.
That's the right there. The inside, the crux of your elbow is really fucking bad tattoo. The wrist, I thought the wrist was really bad. Everybody's like, "Why are you being such a pussy?" I'm all, fuck that. That's where I'm torturing people. I'm gonna fucking wrist tattoo you. Otherwise, everything else was pretty good. Like the whole back was just like getting whipped for a really long time, and But, otherwise, I think the wrist or the ditch is really bad.
Yeah, I can see that. I've also heard the neck and the throat is real bad too, especially the throat. So if you decide.
No. Oh my God, she's doing zoomies.
What's that? Your dog?
Yeah, Lulu's, man.
Oh, she's sprinting around.
She jumps really fucking high.
Well, she's a pit
cats
bull,
are really hard pressed in my neighborhood. The cats think, if I just jump up on this fence, I'll be out of the way. And Lulu fucking chases them up the fence and like tries to get them before they get over the fence.
Dude, have you seen those training videos of like what are those dogs called? Belgian
Malinois.
Malinois, thank you. Have you seen like
that's what the cops use?
Oh my God, like they run up walls and shit. Like they'll run up a 2-story wall and like grab a rope at the top and hang from it.
Yeah,
and they do the same thing with pit bulls.
There's this one fucking thing. It's like an obstacle course for dogs, right? And it's like really agility, and then they have to climb ladders. The thing is I had a dog that climbed ladders when I was roofing, and we used to strap a backpack on her full of staples. So when we ran out of staples up on the roof, we'd call the dog, and the dog would bring more staples so you wouldn't have to stop, right? The only thing is dogs can't climb down ladders, but they can jump off of roofs.
Oh wow! But that's a pretty hard landing though. Don't they break their legs?
No, it's only 8 feet high.
Okay.
Most lower levels of most people's houses are like 8 to 10 feet high. That's nothing for a dog.
Yeah, I could see that, I guess. But yeah, that's man. Some of those training videos, like I'll give you, I'll be honest. Two of my biggest guilty pleasures are watching people get tased in like cop videos, and watching an attack dog like that go after somebody. Those are two of my things where I'm just like, whenever I see like a standoff between cops.
That is my favorite thing. Come out of there right now, or we're sending the dog.
Right.
And I'm like, send the dog.
I'm always the same, like that. Please do it. Don't come out. Stay in the attic. Yeah.
Send the dog. Look, if I'm a cop, you're fucked.
Dude,
I'm gonna send the dog and taser you. just because, and the dog will be like dragging the limp guy around, and he's shocked, and the dog is pulling his arm and leg off.
Yeah, dude, I swear, like some of the best episodes of Cops are the ones where like a meth head won't come out of the crawl space and they send in the dog and you just hear, ah! And then he's getting dragged out by his leg. I can't help it, man. I laugh every time. I can't.
No,
I know it's mean, but
the toothless and ruthless. They're the most entertaining part of those cop shows and everything.
Dude, what is the area like around the academy you're in right now, around La Marinda?
It's fucking posh. It's beautiful.
It's not like Ralph's house.
No, it's not down in the like where the fucking homeless creep around and stuff like that. Like here, you don't see homeless. They get a ride to the border and then a swift kick in the ass and say, "Don't come back."
Wow. Yeah, I remember when I was up there with you. It was pretty crazy at that time, but I can imagine now with like the fentanyl crisis and all that stuff. I imagine it's gotten only worse.
And I see one of my students. He's a San Francisco cop, and I've been just like watching the news and just all this crazy shit, about San Francisco and this and that. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? He's all, it's crazy out here. He's all, it's like fucking Marlboro country.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was watching a thing where like people aren't leaving their windows up. They roll their windows down and leave the car empty to prevent their windows from getting smashed, just so they can see there's nothing in there to take. Are people
That's the biggest thing is the car break-ins. And they always tell people at the airport, take everything out of your rental car, before you like go straight to your hotel room and empty out the car. And people are like, oh, let's stop and look at this. And then we'll break your window and steal all your luggage and your passport and everything else.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, that's crazy. I've also seen it the way there was a thing I was watching the other day where they had a security thing over the glass at like a CVS or something, and some dude literally breaks out a blowtorch and he starts torching, melting off the zip tie thing or whatever it was that they had on there, and then he got into it, and everyone.
So that's like at all Walgreens. That's even out here where I live.
Wow.
So I go to Walgreens and I'm like, I think I'll buy a razor and whatever, and I go back there and everything is behind plexiglass. You have to have someone come and help you get it open. But the places in the city, you walk in the store and there's nothing on the shelves. You have to go online and then they'll have the stuff at the counter. They're so fucking scared.
Oh my God.
So, dude, and the like the organized like looting where they like run in a big bunch of people and then they start just like ransacking like either the jewelry section or the high-end purse section.
Yeah.
Or perfume.
Wow.
So that's the biggest deal around here. That's what's been happening.
Wow.
It's a lot of big invasions. And of course the drive-through robberies.
What are you
where
talking
about? They steal a car. They drive said car through the security gate,
oh my God.
and then loot, and then escape.
Jeez,
yeah,
that's wild, dude. That is so crazy. I was watching a video not long ago where like I guess citizens, like just everyday people, were so fed up with it that they started trying to fight with people that were stealing. And it's like, I understand the sentiment. Like, I get how you feel and I get it, but man, I'm not going to get stabbed over someone stealing something from a store. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just
stabbed would be all right. These motherfuckers are carrying heat. Man. They're fucking not fucking around.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be worth it, but I do understand the fury that you're sitting there being a good citizen. You're in line, you're ready to pay for something with money that you worked for, to have people just doing all this. I mean, I get the anger, but
it's so bad in Oakland that they recalled the chief of police for Oakland, so he got fired.
Wow.
Right? And then the mayor of Oakland is like has this how can I say, she's like the attorney of the county of Oakland and in that area. She's kind of lenient on crimes and stuff like that. And then they're like, dude, these guys are doing armed invasions of properties, and then they get caught, and then you want to like, okay, you guys did a bad thing, don't do it again, and let them go, because they go right back to it, you know? So they're recalling her also. They're like, no, you're not going to be mayor anymore too. So it's pretty bad around here. Well, in like the bigger cities like Oakland, San Francisco, even Berkeley. Berkeley, though, they can't fight back because they're a bunch of fucking hippies. So, so the conquest of Berkeley will be really easy.
Have you noticed an uptick in people signing up for self-defense and for jiu-jitsu during these times?
No, not really. You know, I mean, you figure they would. Or do something, but nothing yet, nothing like visible, like I can tell. I mean, there's always, you know, new students and stuff like that, and they come and they either stay or they don't. You know, it depends on what they want out of the Jiu-Jitsu Academy. You know, sometimes it's too hard. It's a very difficult sport.
For sure. For new students that come in and want to get like a good strong base of self-defense abilities, like what are the most important things that you show them within their first year of training, so they have that?
like basics, you know, all basics. It's like you got to have a good UPA. You got to know some self-defense. Like my guys like here, they're like, we know you do a lot of self-defense. I go, I use a lot of self-defense when I'm training. And they're like, what do you mean? You can do all these things standing, you can do them on the ground, you know? So, but if you get good basics, you know, and then also be really aware of your surroundings and stuff like that. Like don't walk into the alley with a flickering light.
Or at all, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like, why did you even park there? Yeah, but you know, there have been instances where people are like, you know, they get invaded and they're fucking armed and they'll shoot at you, you know, and I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what people should do. If you come in my place, I'm gonna fucking shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you with some weird shit though.
Yeah. Your house is like an amusement park of weaponry. They're gonna get hit with like 13th century crossbows and like Apache, like authentic Apache arrows and everything else.
Yes, a battle and throwing axes, all kinds of weird shit. There's gonna be shit flying at you. Like at all levels and like a bunch of them.
Dude, you should set up that would be an interesting like museum experience for home invaders. Like you could have, you know, when you go through a museum, there's like the automated voices that tell you the paintings you're looking at. Like as they break in, you're like, oh, you've noticed now that you've received a Comanche arrow to your knee. Notice how the fletching, the Comanche, it gives them like a whole like historical background on the weapons.
As you can tell, it's not going to be able to be pulled out the same way. You'll have to cut off the head and shove it through.
As you step towards my living room, you now notice that it's an ancient German flying axe heading towards your face. You'll notice the engraving on the side. Yeah, it has like a whole like.
It's lovely, and you can feel the weight. Feel the weight. You know, fuck. You got to see my automatic crossbow.
I do have to see your automatic crossbow.
I don't think you understand. It's from Germany, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But, naturally, but of course. And So my friend bought it for me because those fuckers who broke into my house and stole all my shit. But my friend fucking bought me this fucking crossbow, Andy, and it's automatic. So you cock it, and it's cocked, and you can put in a standard, bolt in it for like killing deer and whatever people. And then if you want to go automatic, you take like 8 fucking bolts that are like mini ones, right? And you put them into the magazine, and then you go boom, boom,
oh my God.
boom, boom. Yeah, and you got 8 shots, so you could try running.
Keyword,
right?
Keyword is try.
But I'll be trotting along behind you, shooting. All I know is like finally people are like that's what they noticed is a lot of people were buying guns, and you know how California is. It's like, people are buying more guns. That's not good because they're scared because there's home invasions, there's workplace invasions, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on. But of course, the guns always end up in the wrong hands, and then you have you have the bad guys with really good guns and the good guys with very good guns here. But it's not like Brazil, like over there they have to buy their own weaponry, and they usually don't have a really nice, Glock and a fucking AR and a fucking a street sweeper fucking shotgun and shit like that.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's almost impossible for citizens to have guns in Brazil. Like you have to, you can have them for shooting at a gun range, like they have ranges here. But when it comes to like carrying it on yourself or in your car or even in your house, like if there's cases where people defend their home from an invasion and they still get in trouble for using a gun in their home because it was just supposed to be for sport shooting and they weren't supposed to. It's weird.
It was a sport.
Yeah.
It was just like sporting.
Live airsoft with my. It's involuntary airsoft, I guess, is what that would fall into.
Shit.
But dude, when it comes to like you mentioned, when you have new students coming in, mostly you just lean heavily into the fundamentals, whether it's sport or self-defense as the focus. Do you feel that the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu have changed with the evolution of the sport? Like with things getting more and more advanced all the time and people learning jiu-jitsu faster than ever, have the fundamentals changed? Like, are there things that used to be more advanced that you teach to new people now?
Of course, everything is evolving and everything, and so the curriculum may add more stuff to it, but basically like. Just like ancient warfare and everything, the basics are the basics, and that's what's always going to get you through, Like this week, like after tournaments, I always do this lesson, and everybody goes, "Oh fuck, here comes that fucking lesson." Is elbow escape and getting your guard back to front, or escaping mount, like because you get mounted. I mean, it's bad, but you don't know really bad until you have half on top of you mounted and it's fucking got punching.
Yeah, right.
And then you're like, fuck, I got to get the fuck out of here. Fuck yeah, you do. And so last time I'm explaining, I'm all, hey, look, just imagine if the guy was punching you. And they go, what are you doing? I'm all, finish your elbow escape.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's elbow escape? I'm all, the escape? How you move your hips and stuff. And they're like, oh, we call it shrimping. I'm all, if I want shrimp, I'll scream shrimp and I expect a shrimp cocktail, It's like, what you tell the little kids shrimp. For you guys over 16, it's elbow escape because It's not hand escape. If you put your hand on the guy's knee, he goes kimura. So it's elbow escape and you scoot your hips and everything. So, and they're like, but seriously, Kurt, what if it is a serious situation where the guy mounts you? You're going to take a couple, 2-3 punches before you get out.
Yeah.
And they're like, and you got to just be at one with that.
Well, no, I think what you just said is really important, man. Because for a long time in martial arts, I think there was this attitude or this illusion that if you train martial arts, like nothing can affect you. Like you'll be able to dodge every punch and block everything, and there's an answer for everything that could come your way. I think that jiu-jitsu's approach has been better in that you're honest with the student. Like, look, you might take a little damage. It's all about minimizing the damage and getting to a good position where you're more safe.
Yeah, or getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
exactly.
know.
I also think that boxing, like sports like boxing and Muay Thai, do the same thing. Like they explain, like, yeah, man, you're going to get hit. Here's how you mitigate that. Here's how you make it a little less terrible, you know, and here's how you move your head to avoid it the best you can. But yeah, if you're going to be in a fight, you're going to get at the very least scraped up on your knees or something, you know.
Yeah, something's going to happen, and you're going to have to fucking ignore that.
Exactly. If jiu-jitsu didn't exist, what do you think you'd train? What martial art would you have stuck with, do you think?
I was just doing the lead singer, like, brawling style.
Stage diving with elbows, yeah. Like
it was like grab the guy and then throw him on the floor. Luckily, you know, my dad was a Greco and a freestyle wrestler, so I grew up with that, you know, wrestling with him as a kid. And so it was always, hey, if the guy is hitting you good, you pick him up, you throw him in the sky. And I'm all right, you know, because the guy usually lands and goes, what the fuck was that, you know? So, yeah, I would have stayed with like some sort of grappling, anything grappling.
Yeah, that's a good call. You were talking earlier about the importance of like the elbow escape, and I truly think one of the best skills you can have in jiu-jitsu is being able to recompose your guard at will. Because I mean, you make someone go through the motions of passing your guard, which takes a lot of effort sometimes. Most of the time, it takes a lot of effort, and then you settle in, and then the guy's just out again. You have to do it all over again, and a few cycles.
That's what I say to my guys. I'm all, fuck, the hardest thing in jiu-jitsu is to pass fucking guard.
Yeah.
And that's when you're going to go, you have to stay like persistent and pass that guard and stabilize, you know, even if the guy, you know, gets it back, what's your job? Fuck, pass that motherfucking guard again. There is no other option. I'm going to hang out. And that's what kind of like, I notice at tournaments now is the guy will make points and he'll come on top and then he kind of like stops. And I'm all, ref, he's fucking stalling. He's on top. He's on top with no intention of passing the guard.
Yeah.
He came on top and then freezes like a goddamn statue.
What do you think are some of the best tips to pass guard effectively? Like to not waste so much energy and to be more efficient with it?
Since everything's like leg locks and everything, you know, and like going under, but there has to be a space for the guy to go under into. So I like to, like last week I was doing like how to pass butterfly guard with the over under, you know, and then if they got a guard to double under and scoop them up and just avoid their guard and go behind them. And then either, you know, always like stepping in and then going down really, really quickly so that there is no threat to your legs. Whereas if you're standing up or you got to, you know, trying to slice through and stuff, the guy will go upside down and he'll go after your leg, you know? So I always get my toes planted and my knees on the floor and my knees wide so it keeps my butt down, you know? And so that's the big part, emphasis. Also, it's like, I think I got better at teaching and explaining things. And it's like, if your knees are in line with your hips, your butt is up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so my knees do not come up. And if they do come up, my knees are really wide, so my butt doesn't come up. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Like a frog. And so then they're like, how come you pass... why do you pass well still? And I'm all, well, it's been 2 years. I'll get better again. But the key is when I pass is I don't pass like this so that there's going to be a cave in. I pass like I make myself like a shape of a shield. Mm. So everything here is the distance here underneath here is very, very sparse because my hips are down, and everything he's trying to put in is going to deflect off the shield.
Oh, nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like the front of a bulldozer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And so they're like, that works? I'm all, fuck yeah, it works. What do you think? The guy has no place to put his feet because there's no purchase. And so then he fucking just skips off and it makes him go the other way, you know? Think about it. If a shield was faced inwards, it fucking would gather arrows, you know? So
That's usually your go-to protocol. Like if someone passes your guard, or if you're passing guard rather, that's your go-to protocol.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna have my hips down, and I'm barely have my knees on the floor. Just the cloth on the gi is just touching the floor because I'm putting all my weight on the guy. I'm not gonna share it with the floor.
Yeah,
you know.
That's excellent.
And then dipping your hips and keeping your chest forward makes the guy rebound off of you rather than settle in.
Yeah, that's excellent, man. I really like that. Yeah, I sometimes find myself, like if I'm rolling with someone with a really technical good guard, I'll have about 3 different variations of guard passes that I cycle through. And every now and again, I'll be with someone where I'm just like, dude, none of this is working. So I'll start maybe threatening leg locks to get them to open things up a little bit differently. But it can be frustrating, man. If you have someone with a good guard, like, damn, it can be tough.
You gotta pin their leg. You know, You gotta pin their leg really good and staple it down, and then get a hold of their hips. So my big thing is like, and I heard Hickson say it years and years ago, and he said, if you stop the guy's hips, you stop all his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I could see that.
Right? So if he can't move his hips, so what I'm experimenting right now lately is I'm passing, and instead of, like going with the underhook and getting head control like that, whereas a squiggly guy will like squiggle out, is instead I'll pass, and then I'll reach around and I'll grab his whole hip and rotate him up so that my hand goes underneath like his low back, and then I have his hips. And then his hips, he cannot pass his leg. He's laying flat. He doesn't have the angle, even if he's really flexible. The only thing he can do, if BJ would do this, I would get there and hold him, and he would take his foot and put it in front of my face. And I would look around and I'd go, what the fuck is that? Whose foot is that? You know? But if you got his hips and you got him really with your hip against his hip and then my arm around his hip, and then I'll get his arm control or his head control rather than going the underhook, because some guys are pretty tricky. They draw you into that underhook and then they fucking hit the giggler.
Yeah. The giggler sweep. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that fucking giggler, Luke would he doesn't just tilt you, he kind of lifts you up. And if you're shorter, you come off the floor, and then you tilt for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really effective low effort sweep, man. That's definitely a good one to use if you're the guy on the bottom. Do you find it easier to pass guard in the gi because of the grips that you have available and the lapels and things like that?
Of course, you can tie in more, but the thing is, like, the last thing when I taught all these passes, and then I go, now look, I'm going to pass this guy's guard, and I'm going to use all 3 of the passes I showed you in different variations, but it's always going to come back to this. So you have to be malleable. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be able to adjust to his guard and what he's doing, and you have to change too. But one rule is always the same. I have to pin a leg. If I don't pin a leg, I have to go 2 in or 2 out. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a few rules and stuff like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I always grab people the same way when I'm passing gi and no gi. So I usually grab flesh.
You're one of those guys, dude. You grab the fat of the underarm or like the meat of the leg.
I will hook into like places where you have landmarks. You know what I'm saying? Like you can hook in here, you can hook in there, and clamp on like this, and then it blocks their movement and stuff. So I think that's why my game like goes from gi to gi-less so easily, because I don't need it. I don't need the gi. I'm just gonna pass the same way, and I'm just gonna grab you really fucking hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And get arthritis.
Yeah, flare up there. But then you'll predict weather better, like we talked about last time. So,
yeah, I can tell you right now, it's gonna rain in about an hour.
Man.
My right knee is aching right now, and I feel that it's gonna rain.
What do you think is the humidity, the level of humidity? What percentage would you predict right now?
Right now, I say it's up in the 80s. look, I'm looking outside at the same time.
Yeah, I know. You're cheating. You're cheating. You're looking out the window.
It's humid because I woke up and I walked outside and it was 70 degrees and it's wintertime.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Well, let me ask you this: what do you think is the most annoying variation of guard to pass? Which one do you think is the most difficult to deconstruct?
When they do knee point or K guard.
Yeah, K guard. Yeah, sure.
Right. I don't know where these names all come from, and they're all, "Don't you know about this?" And I'm like, "No, no, I don't know anything about it." I come in and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know that." I'm all, "Fuck you! You don't know fucking shit." You know? Oh no, I already know that. Please have that. You know? Yeah, like I find knee point and like that K guard and everything. It's like if you pound into it, that's all you're gonna do is you're gonna pound yourself into it, and he's gonna stay there and you're gonna stay there. If I get up, he's gonna go under. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't get up, but what I do is I back out and then I re-engage. And so in the back out, he either has to come with me or I detach from him and then I restart the whole process again, which I find is way, way better. Because if I stay stubborn and have my OCD attack and I just pound myself into his shin repeatedly, and I'm like, this is really stupid. Keep doing it. You know? So I had to, because I was getting stuck there too. And I was like, fuck that. I'm just going to smash through it. And I would. But at what cost? I'm fucking totally scraped up. I had to exert myself hard. And I was pissed.
Yeah.
Right. You know? Which is not good. You can't get pissed. Because then it obscures your open-mindedness, right? Because then you're pissed. Yeah. So yeah, I usually back out and then I reassess and I start doing some stuff to the legs and stuff, and then but I don't get up because that's what they want.
Yeah. For sure. No, I appreciate the insight, man. 'Cause I know, you have a really effective and solid passing game for anyone that's ever watched you compete. So I appreciate you breaking that down, because it is for a lot of people, I think, one of the most frustrating aspects of jiu-jitsu is learning how to pass a difficult guard, for sure.
Yeah, but that's your objective. That's your job.
Yeah.
But then again, I got brought up by Half, and he's all, okay, you're gonna be a passer. And I'm all, but what about my guard, Half? And he's all, you go to your knees, you take them down, or you sit back to your guard. And a lot of people underestimate that. Some people, they don't have the finesse and the flexibility to do pummeling with their legs, schema aspanas, and put the feet on the hips and make hooks and stuff like that. But if you start coming around, I can either, keep the sleeve and try to dump you or push your head, or I turn to my knees and I try to take you down, which I show all my wrestlers, and they're all, this is a guard? And I'm all, it's kind of a guard. Right? The guy didn't pass it, did he? He goes, no, I went to my knees and I double legged him. Oh, it's a really good guard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely like turtle guard, for example. Something that people might not realize is when they're new to jiu-jitsu is that, yeah, when you're on all fours and you're in a turtle, that's a variation of guard. I mean, you're not past at that point.
Yeah. Well, tell us prove that.
Yeah.
And I use it, but I'm like, I always try to roll underneath the guy if he's high, and then I try to dump him, or I'll realign. Yeah. So.
That's awesome.
But otherwise, in a street fight, they're going to kick you in your head.
Yeah, best to get up at that point. If you get the turtle in a street fight, best to try to stand and make some space.
Don't stay there and go, come on, try and pass my turtle guard. Right. And the guy's going to go, no, bah.
Oh, man, well, I appreciate the breakdown, Kurt. Buddy, I tell you what, we've reached about the halfway point of the show. We usually play the pummel game here, but we just played it like a month ago, and you've done the pummel, I don't know, 20 plus times at this point. So we're going to play instead Would You Rather. So would you rather?
All right.
Put together some would you rather questions for you. So here we go. Question 1 for the would you rather game. Would you rather travel back in time to the Roman gladiator days or back to the Wild West? We talked in the last episode about the Wild West. What would you choose?
I'm going back to gladiator days.
Gladiator days.
You know, there's no guarantee that you're going to go back and be like, oh, cool, I'm going to be a centurion, or I'm going to be in the Roman Legion, or I'll be a gladiator. You know, you could be the fucking the vomitarium's fucking clean out boy. You know,
the horse stall guy. Yeah,
exactly. You could have the fucking worst job ever. You got to clean up after the orgy and shit like that.
Dude, that would be top.
You know,
that's top
everybody partied and they puked all over each other and fucked, and then you got to go in there and clean up.
That's for sure worse. I'd be a stable boy all day long.
I would go back to both those times because I would go and just run around and just shoot people.
Yeah, I think I would take cleaning out a horse stall over the orgy cleanup guy any day of the week.
Yeah, fucking A. Yeah. I'd rather do the stalls than the makeout room.
You think your job? Yeah, you think your job sucks? It could always be worse. That's for sure. It's okay. So Roman gladiator days is what Kurt would do. Kurt, would you rather have very short legs or very short arms? Like if you had to have arms that were only as long as your whole arm reaches your elbow, or your feet reach your knee. What would you rather? What would you rather be stuck with?
Short arms.
Short arms. Why do you say why do you say that?
Because I need to. If you got short arms, you can't hit the guy. At least you could run around.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
right?
Little T-Rex battles.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, then at least I could jump around and shit.
What would be a good advantage and disadvantage for each of those, though? Like having short legs. Okay. Yeah. What would be in the
short arms? It's going to be very hard to crucify you, and or to tie your hands together behind your back because you got little short arms. It would be hard to arm lock you.
Yeah, true.
Right, because your arms are.
All right, one of these things has to go forever. You can never eat it again. Pizza, sushi, fried chicken, or Mexican food?
Pizza.
You'd get rid of pizza. Yeah, forever?
No, the other foods are way better.
Really? Okay. That's a hard disagree for me, but I respect your choice.
Because I fucking love sushi.
Me too.
What was the other one?
Fried chicken or Mexican food?
I love fried chicken.
Dude, I think for me, I would do away with fried chicken. Fried chicken's good, but
really,
yeah, between Mexican food, sushi, and pizza, I couldn't give up those other three.
And Mexican food, that's part of my whole lifestyle. I put everything in a tortilla.
Yeah, Mexican food's legit for sure. Do you make pupusas? Did your mom make those? Being Salvadorian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you make those yourself?
No. They got them down on Mission Street, or there's a place out here off like down the street from my house that has really good ones.
Yeah, there used to be a spot in Atlanta. There's a Salvadorian restaurant, little like a bakery / restaurant. They had some amazing ones, man. They were so good. That's something.
And car detailing and window tinting.
A one-stop shop, a true one-stop shop, for sure.
It's true. I can go get my windows tinted and pupusas.
It's efficiency. It's efficiency.
Yes.
All right. In the same spirit as the food question, one band has to go. You can never listen to one of these bands again. Okay.
All right.
Slayer, Pantera, Metallica, Iron Maiden, or Black Sabbath. Which one has to go forever? It's a hard one.
What was the other one?
So, okay, it was Slayer, Pantera, Metallica, Iron Maiden, or Black Sabbath. One has to go.
Oh.
Never to be listened to.
Never. Nunca escutar demais. Oh my God. Fuck. That's really hard.
It's a hard one.
Iron Maiden.
Oh, Iron Maiden. Okay. All right. Cool. Interesting. It's painful. There's no answer that's not painful. I know. That's a tough one.
Right?
I did that. I picked those.
The only reason I was going to go Metallica because they haven't been like really heavy since like And Justice for All.
Yeah.
But then again, Iron Maiden, you know, after
Bruce left?
Yeah.
I like their stuff after Bruce left still, but I think, yeah, Bruce, for live shows especially, that you can't replace Bruce Dickinson, man.
No, you can't. And he can fence like a motherfucker.
He can fence, yeah. He's gonna be here actually. So, dude, this is so disappointing. I've been waiting to see Iron Maiden live forever, and they're gonna be here in December. But I'll be in the States while they're here. I'll be with my parents for Christmas, so I'm gonna miss it. And then Bruce,
they're touring with Bruce Dickinson, right?
No, Bruce is doing his own thing. He just made a new album, and so Bruce is actually gonna be here in April. But I don't know anything of his new album. I haven't heard anything yet, so I might go just to see. But
I don't know who you'd put up there as the front guy, because Bruce Dickinson is the shit.
Yeah. No, he used to train like an athlete just for his performances, like his jumping and leaping, and oh my god, bro, there was no showman like him. It was just awesome. But okay, so Iron Maiden, I know that was painful. I picked 5 that I knew would be painful, so I respect you. That
was painful.
Going through that one. Or how about this one? You have 2 superpowers that you can have. You can either have invisibility, but when you go invisible, you get terrible gas while using it, or you can fly, but you can only fly if you're completely nude.
Naked?
Yeah.
Okay, I accept that.
You're flying naked. I should have known that would have been the answer to that one, because you're partially nude most of the time in places that allow it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You'll walk around in underwear if you can get away with it.
I would.
Could you imagine flying over San Francisco nude? You'd probably fit right in. Aren't there parts of San Francisco where you can be naked? There's nude beaches in San Francisco.
As long as you got your shoes and socks on, you're not naked. That's the San Francisco law.
Is it really?
Yes.
Dude, that's so insane.
So I used to be like, okay, and so we're like one street up from Folsom Street. I would be teaching like the kids class was like 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, you know? And then all of a sudden, you know, this one guy walks up and he's got his fucking Doc Martens with socks on and nothing else. And he's watching the class. And I'm like, kids, turn around. And they're like, why? I'm like, just turn around. And I go out there. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, motherfucker. You know? But if you're got your shoes and your socks on, you're not naked. But dude, you can walk around.
How does that not fall into indecent exposure in front of kids? Like, that's insane. That's insane.
That's what I say.
That's insane. Wow.
So if you got your shoes and socks on, you can walk around.
I feel like naked. You would, if you were flying naked, I feel like you would at least like go around school zones. You're a decent person. Like you would, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
I wouldn't fly over fucking preschools and fucking, you know, fuck. What the fuck for? Because I'm gonna start throwing spears and shit from the air.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you'd weaponize any of these powers for sure.
Okay, you have to be you can be naked, but you can carry as many weapons as possible. And so
I wonder what air traffic control would think when they see you on the radar. It's like, what is that? What is that throwing spears? It looks like
it's dive bombing. Yeah. It's dive bombing now.
Yeah, we can make out some butt cheeks and some spears. I'm not sure what exactly.
He's got a really nice tan line.
All of a sudden, like a blue angel flies up next to you, like a fighter jet flies up next to you to identify what you are. You're just, how's it going? Oh man! All right. Well, so yeah. So nude flying is what you take.
I would take nude flying rather than invisible farting.
Yes, exactly. All right. Good. All right. You're stuck in a room for a year and you can't leave. What 3 things would you demand to have with you to make it through the year?
Wow. I'm gonna need 1,000 books.
Okay.
An art set and an MP3 player. Nice. Good choices.
Yeah, good choice. So music, reading, and art. That'd be pretty good. Would you rather live life in a post-apocalypse zombie-style Earth, or live life in a colony on Mars, a new colony on Mars?
I think the colony would be better than the post-apocalyptic and trying to find food with zombies.
Yeah.
And then there's like, dude, I'm into all this, like, there's all kinds of shit going on in the world, right? Yeah. And there's like UFOs and secret societies and conspiracy theories. I love all this shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people who are like clairvoyant, and they've said that there will be Mars, whatever station, colony and stuff like that. So they said that.
It wouldn't surprise me, man. So, dude, here's my thought process behind the Earth colony in the alien wasteland, the zombie wasteland. I feel like if you're someone that's real good at surviving and hoarding and preparing, you could theoretically lock down a really sweet 50th floor office building and have that as just your lair, and you could hoard a lot of food, and you could just kind of live high on the land above everything. In a colony, I feel in space, I would feel like it would be very structured, very regimented. There'd be certain amounts of things that you could own or eat, or how much food you could actually have for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes, and would there be marijuana on Mars?
Probably not. But see, you could collect everything. Yeah. I'm surprised that for the room, locked in a room, that didn't make it on your list. If you're locked in a room,
marijuana. Since you're saying locked up, I've been locked up.
No, I meant just locked in a room.
They don't give you marijuana.
No, of course. Oh, is that not part of the jail? It's not on the menu.
You get bologna with 2 pieces of bread, and that's it, and mustard packet.
I feel like in a colony, things would just be really regimented. So I wonder about someone like you who's very much kind of a survival kind of wild guy. Would it be better for you to just lock down your own supplies and your own way of living?
If I was posted up really good, then I would prefer the post up in a high rise where I could block the stuff, and then that'd be all right.
That wouldn't.
And then
bad.
I'd have to find a chick though.
Get real lonely in that apocalypse. Yeah, for sure. Final question.
There we go.
Final question for the Would You Rather game, Kurt. Would you rather become a merman and live the rest of your life at sea, or shrink to being only 2 inches tall and live among insects?
I would be a merman.
A merman, yeah.
Merman.
Merman. I am merman. Yeah, the insect world is brutal, man. That would be rough. And Kurt, that was the last one for the Would You Rather game. Congratulations, you win. I don't have a cute punchline for that like I do the pummel, so you win. Congratulations.
Right on.
Man, Kurt, before you go, man, I know you got to run and get a class going here, but we got some questions submitted from listeners. If you guys are interested in submitting questions to be read to Kurt on the air, email askosiander@gmail.com. Askosiander@gmail.com. Be sure to include your first name and the city you're in, and I'll read your question on the air to Kurt every time. All right, Kurt, so question number 1 coming in from Mike in Dallas, Texas. He says, "What's up, Kurt? I'm a big fan. I know you've been going through lots of physical limitations from your years of training and injuries and surgeries. I've been dealing with tendonitis in my elbow for several months, and it absolutely sucks. Any advice on how I can still take something from class even if I'm not able to roll hard? You're the man, and thanks for the inspiration over the years." Kurt, what can Mike do to take things from class still, even if you can't roll that hard?
So he's got a classic tennis elbow, right? And that's from masturbation.
Mike, you're being called out, my friend. Oh no! Good thing we don't know your last name. Yeah.
So what he needs to do is get that, because basketball players from doing this, right? Because they're shooting baskets all the time. So he needs to put tape around the tendon that's right up here.
Okay.
But it's still gonna hurt, But there's nothing like training guard a lot with only one arm.
Yeah, that's a bummer. What do you think he could be trying to focus on in order to still be growing his game?
It's a good time. Like when I had bad shoulder injury, I would just put the sling on and then tie my arm to the belt, and got used to using one arm, and it really does boost your guard. When you get your arm back, you're moving like you don't have it, and all of a sudden you have another arm. So it's a good training tool.
Nice. Yeah. So just focus on what you can do, and inevitably you'll develop the other areas around it. That's good, man. Mike,
exactly.
Mike, we appreciate the question. Next one, Tommy in Los Angeles says, "What's the most annoying type of student to have?"
But what if?
But what if? Yeah, the what if guys.
But what if? But what if I kick you in your nuts right now and walk away?
The what if guys. Yeah, those guys are rough, man.
Look, keep your what ifs for when you're at home. You can ask your wife or your girlfriend. everything else here is like pretty much, but what if? I'm like, look, if I asked that to Half, it was a very swift response. It was like, ta, right? So there's no what if. There's just like, do it this way, and that's fucking it.
That's awesome. Next one's from Gabriel in Illinois. He says, "What's up, Kurt? Love your videos and interviews, and I hope to make it to San Francisco someday to train with you. What's the best way to deal with really flexible guard players?" We were just talking about this earlier. That's funny. I wrestled growing up and control the top pretty well, but when dealing with flexible people who invert a lot, it's such a pain in the ass. How do I crush these fools? I hope this question.
You have to fucking smother them like a fucking cement blanket. A wet cement blanket, right? And then you don't get up. Don't stand up. Don't get up. Just fucking creep over them like a blob, and that's what fucks up. Otherwise, if you're going to stand up, double under them and flip them to their knees and go behind them and take their back and avoid their guard completely.
That's good advice. So, Antonio, Gabriel asked that question. Gabriel, thank you for the question, and I hope that helps. Next one, Antonio from New Jersey. He says, "What rule format in jiu-jitsu do you think is the best, and why?"
The rule format for like competitions and such?
For jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Now that IBJJF has added heel hooks to brown and black belts, in, I believe, no-gi only, right?
Yeah.
That definitely added to the pool of foot lockers and heel hookers. And then there's, the thoughts of adding the slam from the guard and everything. I mean, there's merit to all of the venues, I just think that this is, no matter what, the guy will find a way to make, just like fucking criminal people and politicians are bend the rules, or find a loophole. That's what the competitor will do. They go, I'm going to do this, and therefore I'll be victorious. But then again, now they're starting to already work the rules into their favor, right? But otherwise, all the venues pretty much are pretty consistent about their rules, like World Tour and IBJJF, and most local tournaments follow the old school rules. So yeah, I think the IBJJF is pretty good and everything. I do like like my rules are just a little bit different. I do short rounds, and you have to try to finish each other.
Yeah, the KO finisher is always a great event. Are you going to put on more of those events, you think? You going to do more KO finishers?
I have to find a logistics team.
Yeah, that's a big part of it for sure. Yeah, running events is hard without a team for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Gabriel or Antonio, I appreciate the question, buddy. Next one's from Eric in Toronto. He says, "What are things you see people doing nowadays in jiu-jitsu that would have gotten them slapped by the old school guys back in the day?"
Well, that shit, a lot of things would get you slapped or fucking fined. I think that Half hated foot locks and wrist locks, and still does to this day. So he always taught me to go after the guy's neck, because that really stops the person. Is you can break a guy's arm and he'll keep fighting, and we've seen examples of that when Roger fought Jacare.
Yeah.
Right. And the fight kept going, and the guy was like, his arm was like whipping around behind him. So yeah, I mean, Half always taught me to fucking pass guard, and I go, what's my strategy? And he's like, go out there, throw him on the floor, pass his guard, and choke him. And I'm like, all right.
Easy enough.
Easy. All right.
That's awesome. Eric, I appreciate the question, man. Final question from the listeners, Kurt. We got Victor in Germany. He says, Kurt, I know you're half German. Have you been here before? And if so, what did you like and dislike? Also, please bring back the move of the week.
Victor, was ist los? I've been to Germany a bunch of times, and I love it. And I was like 40 kilometers outside of Munich, which is Bachhausen, is a small town out there by Alfkirchen. And so, man, I loved everything. I like the food. I like the people. I like the whole terrain. And what's cool about Europe is like, hey, I think I want to go to Austria. And then you jump on a boat and you're in Austria, you know, and you jump on a train and you're over here. Or you just can see so much stuff in Europe. And I was there when I was young, but I was there in early. And then I remember I was there 72, 74, 76. And then I went crazy and started to get older and do fucked up shit. And then and then my aunt and my uncles come over here and visit now. So they come over here. So I hope to get back there to Germany. I got to get my passport in order, and then I want to do a European tour.
That'd be great. Yeah, put up like a European seminar tour. That'd be awesome, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu all over Europe. Germany especially has a big jiu-jitsu scene.
Yeah.
So that'd be a cool stop for you. Awesome. Well, Kurt, that was the last one for the listeners, man. What are some of your big goals for the next? I already asked you what your goals were for the year. What are your big goals for the next few months coming up?
I just want to get out there and see everybody in the United States and do a good seminars all over the United States.
Awesome. Excellent, man. Well, for everyone out there that wants to keep up with Kurt, if you guys want to have him for seminars, he's available for seminars right now. So he's trying to get things booked. So if you're in the U.S. especially, hit him up on social media. You guys can follow him on Instagram, Kurt Osiander. His YouTube channel is just type in Kurt Osiander and hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon to get notified when he adds new videos. And then, guys, if you want to learn from Kurt anywhere in the world, he has a great instructional with us here at BJJFanatics.com. It's called Fundamentals of a Jiu-Jitsu Renegade. It's one of our best sellers. So whether or not you are able to get out to San Francisco and train with Kurt in person, make it to one of his seminars he's trying to put together, or hop onto BJJ Fanatics, Kurt will show you some really cool stuff that you might not have seen before. So, Kurt, speaking of teaching, I know you got to go, man. I appreciate your time. I hope you have a good class. And that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in. Please stay tuned for the next episode of the BJJ Fanatics podcast.